Hey guy, what's up? It's Poppin' Politics with Kim Nicole. And I wanted to come on here to discuss something that's not really political, but it leans into it somewhat. So, for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. Once again, Poppin' Politics with Kim Nicole. And also, I just wanted to say that I recently, well, it wasn't recently, but I relocated to North Carolina. And I wanted to talk about a few things that people don't actually talk about when somebody says, "Oh, I moved down south," and you're like, "Oh, yeah, girl," and they're telling you about how the rent is cheap and how much, they get for what they, for where they live. But I do notice that there hasn't been any discussion about what that really looks like. So I wanted to kind of hop on here because I'm going through an experience um, where I live now. It's pretty expensive, and so I wanted just to let you guys know, and you can put in the comments if you are aware of these things. But I know that a lot of my friends and even family that who live down south, whether it's in North Carolina, South Carolina, or Atlanta, they would be like, "Hey, you should come down here. Come on down here, move down here." And don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful place. It has all of the things, in terms of fresh air, a lot of space, and space in terms of land, um, you know, just all of the things that somebody would want if you wanted a little bit of a slow down lifestyle. But there are areas like in Raleigh, that was the first place that I was in, and I fell in love with Raleigh because I'm like, Raleigh is beautiful, and it has things for you to do. So that was one of the major things that caught my attention, and that there's so many type of um, living styles that you can buy into in terms of apartment homes, townhomes. There's a vast majority of options to select from. So anyway, I say all that to say, but the thing that people are not talking about is that when you move to one of these communities, that's like multi-family communities of single homes, or if you're in a renter situation like I am, and you are in one of these luxury community apartments, um, there's some things that you need to know. So if you're considering thinking about moving to North Carolina or any of the Carolinas, there's things that you need to know that I noticed a major difference than from being in New York. Okay, so number one is that when you apply to these apartment communities, a lot of them boast that they're luxury apartments, and so to me, luxury is subjective. Having an in unit washer and dryer, dishwasher, and gym, dog park, valet garbage, your own parking space, a barbecue area, area to receive Amazon deliveries, things like that. Gym, I said that, a pool, maybe security. Maybe it's a gated community. All of those things are what they consider luxury, and some of those things are not luxury. Okay, but going back to that, all of those amenities that I just ran down, you're gonna pay for that, and so I feel like in-unit washing machine and dryer is not really a luxury, but a necessity, especially if you're living in an area that is dependent on cars. So there's no like real, excuse me, I'm going to sit back a little bit. There isn't any real transit available nearby. So there's no transit, like in terms of buses, trains, and stuff like that. You definitely need a car. It's car dependent. So having a washing machine and dryer is not a luxury. It's actually a necessity. Because there's not like in the more remote areas, there aren't any of a laundromat. Like if you go in something that's a little more urban and a little more, there may be, but also I find that a lot of these places do have in unit washing machines and dryer, which is a plus. Okay, air conditioner plus, but the other thing is that they charge you by for all these fees. Like you might get the rent and you might say, okay, you have a 2-bedroom apartment and it's $17.50. Well, $17.50 is the base rent. Then they start adding on to all these other things. So some of the things that you can expect to pay is if you are living in a community that offers valet trash, they'll charge you. That could be anywhere from $20 and up, but most places is like $20 to $25. I know I paid $22 for, no, actually $25 for the valet trash, and have to pay $8.50 for municipal trash. So that is at least $32 right there, right? And then you also have to pay renter's insurance. And so here you must have renter's insurance to even to be in the apartment. In New York, you don't need to have renter's insurance. But down here you definitely do. New York, there's some places that offer valet trash as part of this luxury experiences, but for the most part, no. All right, and maybe other places in the tri-state area, but for the most part, no. Again, there's also the cost that you should be aware of a lease renewal fee. They also roll your water bill into your rent. They also have some places definitely charge you for pet fee. I don't have a pet, so that's great. Some places charge you a pet fee even if you don't have a pet. Yeah. So it gets to be really expensive. And then you have like pest control fee, you have administrative fee. I know I had to renew my lease and I had to pay $50, and I was like, for what? To renew my lease? Yeah. So by the time it's all said and done, some places also include, they'll say, oh, cable included. Yeah, but you paying for that cable included. Who's doing cable anyway these days? I know I stream, and it's like $75 just to stream for the Wi-Fi, just for Wi-Fi. And that's with Spectrum down here. So, these are a lot of things that I noticed that are different in New York. In New York, you're expected, if the rent is $17.50 for the 1-bedroom or the 2-bedroom, that's it. You don't pay for a water bill in most places in New York. You don't have to have renter's insurance in most places in New York. And you also don't have to have all these add-on fees. So what's basically happening is that your $17.50 rent just went up to $150 to possibly $200 more just on those fees alone. Also, they have some things where if you don't have a deposit, they charge you for your entire time that you are living there. For like my place was charging a no-zero waiver deposit, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And so basically she was telling me, well, yeah, because we didn't charge you a deposit when you moved here, So they're breaking it up, and that's $22. So I'm just like, I'm not really feeling that. Um, the community is beautiful, but it's just like you're advertising for one thing, but then on the next hand, it's all these fees that are not included. Also, right now, currently in North Carolina, there are about five or maybe seven realtor groups that are in a DOJ, Department of Justice investigation, which was started by their state attorney general, who at the time was Josh Stein, who now is the new governor. And basically, what he's been, put onto was that there's been some price gouging. And this seems to be a real problem because I see in other states, recently, as of today, California was suing and taking to task some realtors who've been price gouging in the city of Los Angeles. So here, in the property that I'm currently in, they're one of the litigants that are being charged with price gouging. So there's a couple of them, and from hold on, let me go back. There's a couple of them. I live in one of these residences that are one of the named management companies that are being charged for price gouging. So what does that mean? That means is exactly like they rigged with other realtors. They manipulated the prices, so there was no fair market competition. So what they did for, I think it's like 70,000 units that are being impacted between Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and Charlotte. That 70,000 units, primarily 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, that they've been price gouging. So they're basically rigging the prices, manipulating the prices, the rent prices, to make sure that, listen, if you're charging $2,000 for a 2 bedroom, then we're all going to charge $2,000 for a 2 bedroom. And they were doing this with using some software app called Real Page, I think it is. And basically, that's illegal, number one. And number two, they're manipulating the prices to make sure that there is no fair competition, because they got together and decided that they were going to do that against the good residents, the people who are working hard to pay their bills and their rent. And so it's so ridiculous and unfair. But this is what's going on. I'm coming on here because I'm like, it's such a huge difference in a lot of ways. And so, and even just to like get the apartment. Now we all know that there are fees. There's, when you're looking for an apartment, there's application fees, they tack on administrative fees, but these fees are fucking ridiculous. Now, I'm not going to say New York does not have the same type of, fee increases, that apply there. Like, yeah, that's expensive there too. But it's like, before you can even get anything, down here it's supposed to be cheaper, And there was a time when it was, but now, North Carolina housing market is like New York. The only difference I would say is that you have all these amenities that are available. In New York, you can get a box and still be paying $2,000 with no AC, no in-unit washer dryer, no air conditioner. No, it's like build your own apartment, so to speak. You're not getting the parking space. You definitely not getting the pool. Some places, yes. Okay, I'm dragging it a little bit, but honestly, for the most part, you can get a box. 500 square feet, and honestly, and that's what you get in. So I just want to know, like, who here who recently relocated from New York or relocated from any big city to the South, and what do you guys think? I mean, I'm contemplating, and then also you have to think about this. There's a property tax too. Nobody told you about that on your car. So there's a property tax about a $350 per year for your car, and that was new. I never heard that. I think they might have that in like maybe New Hampshire or somewhere like that, but New York don't have that shit. So there's definitely things that you would need to know before you decide to come down here. And if we're talking about salary, well, we all know that the salary is low, but god damn, how low is it? If you come down here and you didn't have come down here like with your company that you're currently in as like a relocation, um, or you don't have, a good job, or if you just started out and you needed a fresh start and you restarted, which was kind of what I was doing, and got you a job, baby, the salaries are like ridiculous. Even for a police officer, they're making in the like, I would say early 40s. I met this guy at Capitol Police, early 40s to like mid to high 40s. And he was a Capitol Police for 2 years. I mean, even at the higher end is low, you know? So you think about it, it's a lot. The schools, right now, like I live in Durham. Durham's beautiful. It has its spaces. It's like Raleigh. Raleigh's downtown, beautiful as it is, and all the businesses, but they got a crime problem. And for them, their crime problem don't really add up to what being a New Yorker native is to me. It just don't add up. But for every little thing for them, it's crime. And I understand that. I'm down south. I do. I realize that. And the people down south are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Has nothing to do with that. But it is really getting ridiculous housing wise. And so, yeah, let me know in the comments, what do y'all think about this? I'm just saying that I feel like, people don't talk about it that much in terms of like what you're really paying. And so it's beautiful and nice and clean and all these tech companies. And I live right in the Triangle area. So this Google, all these research, pharmaceutical companies, big companies are here, but they pay little money. Trust and believe, little money. And so the money now is not adding up to the housing costs. Everything is the same in terms of cost of food, clothing, prices, furniture. The only thing is different is the gas is a little bit cheaper. And that's coming from me. So let me know in the comments what y'all think. But I just wanted to jump on it because a lot of things are really, it's a culture shock. North Carolina, beautiful place, lovely people, but what the hell? They're going crazy down here with these prices. I mean, I put in for an application for a new apartment, and that shit was $300. A one bedroom is about $1,500. Yeah, you can get some, but you want something decent. You want something to your standard, and so I don't know, y'all. I don't know, but that was concerning me. So I just wanted to hop on and talk about that because a friend of mine, we were chatting about it, and I was just like, yo, this is not the stuff that people don't talk about. And yes, of course you want to do your homework. I'm just letting y'all know what's going on now. I've been here for almost 2 years, and I don't know. And I don't know what it's going to look like while we're under the Trump administration, so anything's possible. New York is crazy expensive too, so, and but let me know if you've experienced something different, similar. What your family telling you? What your cousin and them saying? Anyway, this video is already like 19 minutes long. And yeah, so I wanted to just hear, what do you guys think about this? Because honestly, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I'm trying. I'm trying. But anyway, let me know. What do you think? You think that it's the same in New York, different? Put it in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. It's Poppin' Politics with Kim Nicole. Later.